Thank you to come to this seminar, and this time I want to pose the next question for you. Do you think the video games are helpful to our life?
Could you repeat?
Yeah, sorry, my question is, do you think video games are helpful to our life? I don't know if you answer one.
Yes.
The video games.
I think if they have a constructive objective, could be helpful to our lives.
Okay. Playing collaborative video games, like constructive, to game with another people, can change our life or save our life. I don't know. With another, playing with another, change your motivation.
Yes, I think that we have to interact with other people and to change the ways that we live and we think.
What's important for you, the interaction with another, or the video game play is more important? Interaction with another, or the game by itself?
Maybe it depends on what is this video game for, because they can develop some skills. If the purpose of this video game is to, I don't know, follow a track or kill some animals and zombies or whatever. But if the purpose of the game is to challenge the skills of other people, maybe acquire these skills. Because when you're playing the game, you are using the eyes, the ears, the brain to plan the strategy to get the points or whatever.
I heard of a game that was based on constructing prostheses.
Yes?
Yes, it's a collaborative game where the gamers play on how to construct a prosthesis. I think both the game and the end could be helpful.
Okay.
And the collaboration.
And then the collaboration.
But not killing zombies.
Yeah, that's it.
Then it's important. In the video games, it's important to promote, or that are used to promote motivation to the people, to foster some skills. You use these video games in your classes. I don't know. It's good or bad for you. As teacher or as a student is good for them. I don't know, for your student or for your teacher, as a teacher.
Well, I think that
Did you use it?
the use, you can say that it's good or bad.
Okay.
I mean, the way you, the amount of the hours that you dedicate to play could be wrong. Maybe the objective of the game is right. So it depends. So we can't in advance to say that's wrong or right. I don't have knowledge of the existence. I don't have any report that there are games on or that could be applied to my topic in a specific way. But I think that we have to realize that there is this scenario where the collaboration is given on a virtual spot.
Okay.
For me, that's important because using video games, it's creating a community which maybe is stronger than many other real communities. Could be, it's important.
Yes. Then video games and
Yes.
the collaboration is
Yes,
important
yes.
for you.
Yeah, well, I never use video game in the class, but I know it could be used in order to get some information, data specific. I know some statistics professor, that use a simple game. It's a cartoon. He's drinking beer. He's starting to jump the so the professor asked the student to try to keep this guy in line and register the time that the student keep this guy in line until the guy falls. Okay, try again. So to get data and then use it after that, because the student after maybe 5 or 6 times he played the game, it's supposed to acquire this ability to keep the guy in the line.
Okay.
I don't use it, but maybe we can build some games. The most important thing I think is maybe some a list of questions and play with the peers, some competition or who answer the best, who gives the best answer or who answers correctly the question. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe you can help us to build something.
Right. Maybe my last question. I would like to add another property to video games. Is do you think the video games have curative benefits? In the hospital, they are used in occupational therapies. I don't know. It's for the people is sick. Is important for them. What do you think about it? Is the video games are curative, yes or not?
Yes, I think that they could use in that way. As I say, as long as it's not the main stuff doing all day long. They have yes, it could be like an occupational therapy for a person who's disabled, maybe, or even it could help to communicate with other people. Yeah, it could be useful.
As Manuel said, these games are designed to help these people to solve some problems that they may have, like after an accident, they couldn't move the arm, maybe by following like that. Especially because it could be attractive for kids. I'm thinking for kids, maybe they can hold a thing, but they can move a ball, and they see the cartoon or movement. Yeah, it can be help.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. The games could have a therapeutic benefit, or maybe we could help to use some instruments or some guidelines to use some therapeutic approach too. I don't know. That's possible.
Yes. Then I think it's thank you for your answer. Yes, I think it's a very good answer. Yeah, I think the video games, your answer I agree with certain answer I agree with you. Video games I think is a good one in certain situations. It's important to know how they are used. We need to know this context. You say about it's a good one for the kids, but maybe also for the adults. When you say about the rehabilitation situation, I don't know, we say the older people, but the young maybe have also an accident and they are in the hospital and they need to do something, they need to think about something, and then the video game is good one in this moment. There are certain examples like that. Then this is a reflection. Thank you very much.
Okay, great, thank you. So Jaime, what do you think, how do you think that your Socratic seminar went? Think of it as your objective. What was your objective? Did you meet the objective by them discussing? Did they discuss what you wanted them to discuss? How would you reflect your own, this whole experience in terms of Socratic Seminar?
Can you say Socratic Seminar is, what is the meaning, what is my object, what is my goal?
Yeah, I mean, did it go well for you? I mean, how do we know if a Socratic method goes well? You feel well, right? You feel it. You feel it. You feel it in your skin. It's a touchy-feely thing. What makes a good Socratic seminar?
Interaction.
Can you be more
The
specific?
interaction is, I don't know, it's a certain kind of the brainstorming, but giving their ideas a certain subject.
Okay, can you be more specific? Think of very specific. What makes a good Socratic seminar? What makes a bad Socratic seminar?
And this is
And in general, and like, what is our objective? So that you can say, okay, that really went well today, or you know what, maybe that didn't go so well. Okay, based on what?
The discussion. I mean, if people get involved.
yes, it's know the opinion, know the opinion of the audience.
Okay.
It's good if we are share the goals of if we answer the essential questions, we
Okay.
try to establish the understandings that we want to share in the educational process.
Okay, so do you
Because,
think
Other ways, pastime only.
all right, so do you think, Jaime, in your case, in this discussion, do you think that the participants stayed on topic? They talked about the essential questions or the ideas that you wanted them to talk about? You had a goal.
My answer is yes,
Okay.
but I give a certain topic, a provocative topic also. That is because video games is sometimes for certain people is no good, but totally okay. But maybe because we are in educational activities altogether, maybe it's obvious. But for others, the video games are not useful. For the people.
So you think they stayed on topic?
Yes, I
Based on
consider.
what you
I
wanted
consider,
them
yes,
to-
is my answer.
Because
yes.
you were in control. You were
Yes.
asking the questions. They could have talked about something else that you didn't want them to talk about, or they could stay on topic.
They stay in topics.
Okay.
In addition, I give certain. I center the topic in educational aspect. In addition, I add. In addition, I give another example. The use of video games in another scenario, like.
All right. So besides staying on topic, what's another way of evaluating a Socratic seminar? Besides the participants staying on topic, what's another criteria? What's another aspect that you need that we?
I think that all the audience gets involved. I mean, how many participated? Was it in a equilibrated way? the length of the interventions.
So, do you think, in your experience with this discussion, do you think that you had more or less equal participation,
Yes.
or did someone dominate?
I think, for example, maybe Ramon gives short questions, but he is the topic. Is my opinion.
Okay, so we have staying on topic,
Short answer.
equal
Short
participation.
answer, uh-huh.
What's another? I'm thinking of another criteria, maybe a third criteria that would be part of.
The pace.
That's good.
The pace.
Yes.
Okay, that's
He
one I was
gave
looking for. Yeah. There's four.
No.
Yeah, no good? No good, yeah. Pace.
Yeah, because when somebody
Yes.
asks the question, and maybe you say, okay, yes or no, next question.
Okay. Yes. But
How do you feel about the pace?
Yes.
How do you feel about your
Uh-huh.
own participation in the pace?
Maybe I feel in my, for me it's, maybe I don't give a certain clear question. I need to repeat one more time. I think I give a clear question or an obvious. It's obvious for they answer immediately. I think it's another criteria.
Okay.
I think it's a good question. It's obvious to answer.
One of the hardest
Yes.
things is pacing. Sometimes
Yes.
we want that answer right away.
Yes.
When there's a pause, like you ask a
Yes.
question
Uh-huh.
and nobody's saying anything. It's just like dead space. Like, oh. And you just, as a teacher, right? You're like. So here's one of the things that we need to become, I think, used or accustomed to, is especially for English language learners.
Mhm.
Perhaps the space, the pauses, the pace is going to be somewhat slower or a lot slower, depending, than maybe a Spanish-speaking class. Okay, so
Okay.
where you're in Spanish, you may be like, trying to be more on top of it, maybe, or not wait as long. In English, for your English students, you may have to wait a little bit longer. So try to get used to just putting the question out there and let it sink in and wait. Now, if you have to repeat the question, maybe you have to repeat it. That's
Or
fine.
give the example.
But give
Okay.
it a little space, right?
Okay.
And try to have your students give them time to respond. So we have pacing. There is one more. So we have pacing, equal time,
Equal time.
and what was the first one?
Stay on topic.
Stay on
Stay on
topic.
topic.
Any others that you think of that makes it good?
Maybe another criteria for all is Socratic is how participants hook the topic, or how we engage the conversation.
Can you be more
Because,
specific?
the few reactions when we ask the first questions give us, if we don't know what is the answer, maybe we don't engage the
Okay.
discussion.
Yes.
I think it's another.
I don't know.
Can someone else kind of add to what Ramon? Because I think I know what you mean, but can someone add a little bit to that?
I don't know, maybe like paraphrase that to
Okay.
follow.
Yes.
No, but my idea is how participate, engage, hook the topic and engage the conversation.
Just for
Hook to the
Because,
topic,
yeah, because the topic could be indifferent or
that's true.
not very interesting to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's an idea if we ask the good question, or if the participants are motivated with the
Mhm.
subject, because things change.
Maybe it's like linking the information to a next question.
That's another aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Are you referring more to what the facilitator does,
Yeah.
or the student's participation?
how a student's participation react to the way that facilitator ask the questions.
Okay.
But maybe also for the student, because, for example, you can give us another opinion, or another student is the first student give an opinion, give he or she his answer, but you say no, it's no good for me. It's in another sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe there are certain discussion between them. That's another. Or I don't know. What is your opinion? And your opinion is important for. I don't know if you can in this exercise. I don't know. It's also important to say the opinion of Manuel. What do you think about the opinion of the another?
Yeah,
one?
I mean,
but I don't know. In order to engage.
All right. So the one, for this particular exercise, the idea was just to ask questions, pretty much. But of course, there's many ways to do it in the real classroom. My point here, and I think it's what Ramon is getting at. At least what I was thinking is, students could be on topic, but the conversations could be very superficial, very light, not very deep thinking. So I'm thinking like the question words. For me, that's the kind of guide that I try to use. Like if I ask a question and someone's responding, I'll say, okay, they're talking about the what. So they're talking about the what, and then I'll think, okay, I need to introduce a question word, a different one. I say, okay, this is the what. Now, how does this happen? Talk about the how for a little bit. Okay, so why does this happen? Okay, as an example. But the conversation could always be on topic, but it's also helpful to try to engage them into deeper thinking conversations as much as possible, right? As much as possible, depending on what it is.
Maybe not only for the first question, the facilitator need to give a certain general introduction about the topic and pose the question. I don't know.
And I don't. There are many ways you might start the lecture, and the idea here is that we're thinking about the questioning part of it, and really what is unique, I think, about the Socratic method is you are just asking questions. You, as the teacher, as the professor, your job in this particular context is just to ask questions. Now, as we talked about yesterday, this is not something, we're not proposing that this happens every day, all day, 100%, this is your teaching method, no. But I think it's worth practicing just because of the art of asking questions. You as a facilitator, there's kind of an art into it, right? There's a skill involved into listening very carefully and coming back with questions, right, that continue that conversation, because it does require a lot of listening to the student. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted us to kind of practice this, and then also think about how you ask questions more generally in your class, right? Maybe it's not Socratic method, but all of us are asking questions in our class in some way, in some fashion. So, that's basically. Any comments, suggestions about the Socratic Seminar for?
So what? According to apologize also for the skill. So, but according to I have here about your interactions. I have a question or a remark about to try to stimulate interaction with our students and of course English conversation through the Socratic technique or strategy, both learning and for teaching, because you are mentioned several times the why question, the W question of why, well, how, what. So my comment and remark is about that. I believe we need to be aware that these kind of questions can also divide it in very specific answers for our students or open answers. For example, in my topic, I can ask what is a specific command. Well, we will about that to network computing device. So I would like to ask some. I want to ask some general question in order to answer and we interact. So I can ask what is the specific command for this for this problem. What is a specific solution for this problem? But maybe there is a close question that can answer what is one single response. But I can also ask to what is the best strategy to design a network, computer network. So there are several solutions. I mean, my comment about it, this Socratic learning strategy is that we have to realize that this set of question can be expressed expecting a very specific answer from our students, or maybe some of other kind of question, similar with the structures. The students can provide an open answers and actually stimulate a debate between the students.
Yes, absolutely.
So what?
Okay, all right, thank you for that.
Okay, thank you.
comments. All right. So, any specific comments to Jaime? Because I want to give some opportunity for peer feedback. So, based on this conversation, does anyone have any suggestions, comments, or points that you'd like to share with Jaime?
Okay.
Well, I think you asked very precise
Precisely.
questions.
Okay.
I think the topic is interesting, but I think that you could like summarize the position and then start building a question.
Okay. Yes.
So you took what Ramon said, Alex said, even what I said, and you summarize it, and then okay, you say this, and then I will ask the next question. Like, I don't know how's the technique to do that, the name of the technique, but summarizing.
I understand the summarizing was at the end.
Paraphrasing.
Yes. I understand the summarizing was at the end of the.
Okay.
But it's important. Yes, it's very important. Yes, summarize. Yes. Every time. Yes.
Anyone else?
Use facilitate motivation.
The advantage to summarize during the questioning process is that the participants feel that they form part of the process of discussion, because it's not the personal questions that
You're right.
the teacher want to know, want to evaluate, but we share and we are the teacher recognize the participation of the members.
Yes. It is important to say also because maybe it's important for me a certain topic, okay, or maybe it's a provocative topic, but not necessarily for everybody.
Yeah.
Yes. Or at least to give a certain introduction, maybe a certain give a certain. I get certain feedback or relation about this.
Because Socratic method helps to put in action the three types of interaction. The interaction from the teacher that asks the questions and guide the process, and the interaction between the students because we share our opinions, and the interaction with the contents, but because the questions fix the keywords or the subject or the level of language.
So if the idea is to provide to our colleague some suggestion about this technique, I don't know if
You was not here?
I don't know if you have mentioned that maybe it's necessary to anticipate this session with our students in
Yeah,
advance to provide awareness. We will invest maybe 20 minutes.
Give them motivation.
Motivation,
Yeah.
and but the necessity that they they prepare some studies on English techniques for the conversation, or maybe provide in advance the specific topic and the goals of this idea. So because I have identified that a particular case for an undergraduate course that it's necessary to add a specific extra motivation with extra points, because they, of course, they perceive well the courses about these topics of why these additional English activities in general. So the idea is to remark that it's very important for the preparations, national preparation, to keep the topic and keep the English skills practice.
This is something important to prepare, to plan, but sometimes you have to adapt. Because I use it when they say, for example, I ask a student, the class, what have we talked this week? And I don't know. That's not the answer. And if you try to help, okay, what was the topic? What was the main objective? So we start questioning in words
Yes,
to allow the students to understand that they know more than maybe they can think.
That's a good point. Recognizing when to use
Yes,
it might be more important, perhaps, than trying to set it up. Now, of course, they need to have had exposure to the content. I mean, they have to have something to talk about, right? But I think students are going to get used to doing it just by doing it. Maybe not really preparing for it, but just by doing it periodically.